Have you ever tried building a new habit only to find it fades away after a few days? You're not alone. The key to lasting habits isn't just willpower. It's understanding the science behind habit formation. In Chapter 3 of Atomic Habits, James Clear shows us how to build better habits using a simple yet powerful framework. It all comes down to four laws, each designed to make habits easier, more attractive, and ultimately ingrained in your life. Let's break them down. First, let's understand how habits are formed. Every habit follows a four-step loop. 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. 2. Craving, the desire or motivation to act. 3. Response, the action you take based on the craving. 4. Reward, the benefit or pleasure you get from completing the action. Think about a simple habit, drinking a glass of water. The cue could be feeling thirsty. The craving is the desire for hydration and relief. The response is the act of drinking, and the reward is the feeling of refreshment. Understanding this loop is crucial because it gives us the keys to not only create new habits, but also to break old ones. Now let's explore how we can use this loop to our advantage. Clear lays out the four laws of behavior change, the blueprint for creating better habits. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. Each of these laws helps you design your habits in a way that makes them easier to start, easier to stick with, and more rewarding. Let's take a closer look at each one. The first law is make it obvious. For a habit to stick, you need to recognize the cue, the trigger that sets everything into motion. Clear suggests designing your environment to make the cues for good habits impossible to miss. For example, if you want to start exercising, place your workout clothes somewhere you'll see them first thing in the morning. If you want to drink more water, put a water bottle on your desk where you can't avoid it. The more visible your cues, the more likely you are to act on them. A great way to make this work is called habit stacking. After you do an existing habit, stack a new one on top. For example, after brushing your teeth, floss for 1 minute. This simple technique connects your new habit to an established routine, making it seamless. Next, we have make it attractive. Now that the cue is obvious, how do we make the habit irresistible? The key is in the craving, the desire that motivates you to act. Clear suggests using something called temptation bundling. This means you pair something you need to do with something you want to do. For example, if you love listening to podcasts, only allow yourself to listen while you're on a run. Now running becomes more appealing because you get to enjoy the podcast at the same time. By making the habit enjoyable, you're more likely to stick with it. The third law is make it easy. Our brains are wired to take the path of least resistance. To build a habit, you need to reduce the friction that might make the behavior feel like a chore. This is why it's essential to start small. Clear advises the 2-minute rule. Make your new habit so small that it takes no more than 2 minutes to do. For example, instead of aiming to read a whole book every day, start by reading just 1 page. Instead of a 30-minute workout, begin with putting on your gym clothes and doing a couple of stretches. Once you start, it's much easier to keep going. Another way to make it easy is by preparing in advance. Lay out everything you need for your habit ahead of time, so when the moment comes, you're ready to go. The easier you make the habit to perform, the more likely you are to do it consistently. The final law is make it satisfying. For a habit to stick, you need to feel rewarded in the moment. The immediate satisfaction of completing the habit is what reinforces it. One powerful technique is tracking your progress. Clear suggests using a habit tracker, a simple tool where you mark off each day you successfully complete a habit. The visual representation of your progress gives you a sense of achievement that motivates you to keep going. Pair your habits with small rewards. After a productive study session, allow yourself to watch a favorite TV show or enjoy a treat. The key is to make the habit feel satisfying right away, even if the long-term reward is distant. Now, what about breaking bad habits? Clear explains that the 4 laws can also be inverted to make bad habits harder to perform. 1. Make it invisible. Remove cues that trigger bad habits. 2. Make it unattractive. Change the way you think about the bad habit. 3. Make it difficult. Add friction to make the habit harder to do. 4. Make it unsatisfying. create negative consequences, or introduce accountability to break the habit. So how do you use these 4 laws to transform your habits? Start by making your good habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. By using these principles, you can design your environment, change your mindset, and make your habits stick. Remember, consistency is key. Small habits, practiced regularly, compound over time to create big results. Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready to take control of your habits, apply the 4 laws and start building the life you've always wanted.